Welcome everyone to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Windows 12 vs. Windows 11 and the shocking differences that no one saw coming. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this one. Now, when Microsoft announced Windows 12, they made it sound like a pretty minor update. They talked about a couple of visual changes, some new app features, but for the most part, they made it seem like it was gonna be a pretty minor update overall. Now, I've been using Windows 12 in its beta form for a little while now, and there are a lot of cool new features. But at the same time, there are a couple of things that really shocked me about Windows 12. So let us talk about those. The first thing that I want to talk about are the things that Microsoft actually fixed with Windows 12. And I have to say the biggest thing that I am happy about is the return of the taskbar. Now, if you watched my video on Windows 11, you know that I absolutely hated what they did with the taskbar. I thought it was way too centered. There were just way too many things that were centered on Windows 11, and it just made for a very slow user experience. Everything had to be reached with your mouse. It was just terrible. Well, Microsoft heard our feedback, and they brought back the left-aligned taskbar. It looks almost identical to how it looked in Windows 10. If you want to center it again, you can go into Settings and do that. But by default, it returns to a left-aligned taskbar, which I am absolutely thrilled about. The next thing that Microsoft fixed that I'm really happy about is the boot menu. When you restart your computer, instead of going straight to the login screen, you now get this really nice animation with the Windows logo, and it gives you the option to turn on your computer or restart it. I also really like the fact that they added back their shutdown option on Windows 11. You only had the option to restart or turn off your computer, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a shutdown option. If you select shutdown, it would basically do the same thing as just turning off your computer. Well, now you actually have the option to shut down your computer. So you know, that's definitely a plus. All right, so those are two things that Microsoft fixed that I'm really happy about. But now it is time to talk about the things that really shocked me about Windows 12. And the first thing that I want to talk about is something that no one expected, and that is the removal of accent colors. Now, if you watched my video on Windows 11, you know that one of the major new features was accent colors. This was basically where you could change the color of certain Windows elements to kind of match your wallpaper, and it was a really cool feature. I thought it added a lot of personality to your computer. Well, unfortunately, with Windows 12, Microsoft got rid of that feature entirely. And you might be asking yourself, why would they do that? Well, apparently they've had a lot of negative feedback on this feature. A lot of people didn't like it. I personally loved it. But hey, you can't please everyone all the time. Unfortunately, they got rid of it. Another thing that really shocked me about Windows 12 is the fact that widgets still suck. Now, when Windows 11 came out, one of the big new features was widgets. Again, I made a video on it. I showed you how to set it up. A lot of people were excited about it, but unfortunately, I was very disappointed with the widget experience on Windows 11. The widgets just weren't useful at all. They didn't have much functionality. They didn't really serve much of a purpose. And unfortunately, with Windows 12, Microsoft didn't really change much about the widgets. They're still not very useful. They still don't really serve a purpose. So yeah, I was hoping that Microsoft would really improve the widget experience. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So those are the things that really shocked me about Windows 12. Some good changes, some bad changes. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to upgrade to Windows 12 is gonna be up to you. If you're someone who likes to upgrade every year, then by all means do that. But if you're someone who doesn't really need to upgrade, I would probably stick with Windows 11, because chances are most of the new features in Windows 12 aren't really gonna make that big of a difference. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and get subscribed. I'll see you guys in the next one.